Hello and welcome to round 17 oddities of the 2025 season, and I actually don't mind this from Ken Hinkley. Everything doesn't have to be serious all the time. I know his team's down by 21 points at this part of the game, but let the man have some fun. It can't be serious all the time, especially someone like Ken who is always serious. It's good to see this funny side of him. Maybe he's finally relaxing, as he knows he's on his way out. Maybe this is karma that Ben Keays gets given this goal here even though it was touched. This one, funnily enough, did go through the review system, and after reviewing it, they said, no one's touched it, it's a goal. But then AFL has come out today, it's Monday, and they've said, no, this was actually a mistake, this was touched, which you can see from a separate angle. I guess they're under pressure to try and get the ball, get the game back rolling again. Unfortunately, this time they got it wrong. Somehow Peter Wright has been able to get this one past the goalkeeper here. Mac Andrew is standing on the goal line, and as Peter Wright takes the snapshot around the body, he doesn't make very good connection with it, so he doesn't go over Mac Andrew's head. But as it bounces on the ground, I don't know if this just sped up once it's touched the ground, changed angles, but Mac Andrew has just completely missed this, went to score review, and it's a goal. I know Toby Green gets a bad rap, and I probably contribute to that a little bit as well, but Harley Reid obviously has something on his shoulders that he thinks he's better than everyone else. After Angwin takes him over the line, Harley Reid continues on with the tackle and pushes him down on the ground, and then holds his arm on his throat a little bit, and then Toby Green just says, no, not my team, mate, and comes in and just goes bang. How's the leap on this one from Mac Andrew? He's gone for a specky. He's misjudged this, but he's jumped over someone who is 2 meters tall. This is crazy. How can you jump on top of someone who is 2 meters tall and still not touch the ball? I thought this one here was quite interesting and probably the right call in the end. After Rankin spoils the ball, he and Salem are fighting for a contest of the ball, and the ball comes loose eventually and Salem jumps on it, and then he's immediately tackled. Unfortunately, one of the Crows defenders comes in and hits Salem. I don't know if it was in the head or in the ribs with his knee, and later you can hear Salem say that he was knocked out, so there's no way for him to get rid of it, which I don't know if he was knocked out, but he definitely copped a hit, and yeah, he got paid for holding the ball. Now, as you know, I am a Crows supporter, so I have no dog in the fight for this one. I hope you like that pun. But the game here between the Kangaroos and the Bulldogs, I felt like the umpiring was pretty atrocious in the fourth quarter, especially towards the Kangaroos. And in this marking contest here, how did Zurhaar not get paid either the mark or a front-on contact? You can see Taylor Dre has no dog in the fight here, and somehow he's just given away, well, he hasn't given away a free kick, but the umpire hasn't called it. This is a clear free kick. And this next one also happened in the fourth quarter, and I mean, there's only 50 seconds left, but this is a clear throw, and the umpires are right there, and they still don't pay it. I mean, if I was a Kangaroos fan, I would be absolutely livid with the umpires. After Murphy Reid gets paid a mark, and then eventually Isaac Heaney runs past his defender. He runs on the other side of the mark. He's too close. He's within that 5 meters, so it's a 50-meter penalty. Murphy Reid goes back, and he has a very simple shot at goal here, and somehow misses it. He's just absolutely rushed this, and in the end shanked it. This bounce of the ball here for Baylor was extremely fortuitous, and you can see one of the defenders, I think it's Sin for Port Adelaide, just throw his head back like, are you serious? Somehow this has gone through for a goal. There's a bit to unpack in this one, and ultimately this may have been the turning point in the game where the Dogs were able to take control of the game, just due to poor execution from the Kangaroos. As you can see, Scott takes the mark, and he handballs it back to McKercher, and it's between the two players there of Hardiman and McKercher. So McKercher picks the ball up, and then he handballs it to Hardiman, and he handballs it behind him. So he loses his momentum, which gives Aaron Norton enough time to perform the tackle, and he kicks it into, I think, Riley West, and the Bulldogs kick a goal. This is some extremely simple skills, and just their lack of skills has led to the turnover and a goal. This would have been extremely frustrating for supporters and the coach. Sorry, that was Riley West that performed the tackle, not Aaron Norton. My apologies. As Petrarca kicks the ball inside the forward 50, you can see Cozzy Pickett uses his own ruckman in Max Gawn, and then he goes up and takes a potential for Mark of the Year Don't think it'll win it, but it is a very nice mark. Also, a very interesting fact about Max Gawn, he has played 200 plus games, I can't remember the exact number, and he has not once bounced the ball in a game. That is crazy.
But the D's certainly haven't.
It'll be interesting to see what happens here between Ed Richards and LDU. It looks like, if you slow it down, it looks a lot worse than it is. In fast motion, I think Ed Richards didn't have enough time to really do much about this. In the end, LDU does play on for a little bit before the doctors tell him to come off. He undertakes a HIA and is eventually subbed out of the game due to concussion. Going on the basis of previous AFL situations, Ed Richards probably will get a suspension. Whether that's right or wrong, what do you think? Let me know below. How's Jamie Elliott? He's 32 years old and he's probably having one of his best seasons of all time. As you can see, the ball gets fumbled, it goes down to the ground and he doesn't take hardly any time to kick it off the deck and goes through for a goal. The umpiring is so inconsistent and the fans are just sick of it. There was one very similar to this situation where the Crows had a player running at him. As the player came towards him, he went over the line and it was paid a free kick for insufficient intent to keep it in. Here you can see the Carlton player has plenty of time to dispose of the ball or do something with it. Mychek tackles him and eventually in the tackle actually drops the ball. He is over the line, but what do you think? Should have this been paid as holding the ball or insufficient intent to keep the ball in play? I think this should have been a free kick. He had plenty of time to dispose of the ball. He didn't, and he went through for a behind. I think this is what the rule has been made for. This should have been a free. I think this vision here will really hurt the West Coast Eagles today, Monday, when they do their vision review. You can see here that Toby Green just has a clear run at the footy, and there's 5 defenders standing around him, probably almost 6 in that vicinity, and not even one of them contests for the ball. I know they're down by 49 points at this point in the game, but they have to show some sort of effort. They can't just keep getting flogged like this every week when not putting in the effort. They just need to do better than this. I thought the pick up here from Ed Richards was pretty sweet. He ducks the tackle of Jai Simpkin and then just runs away from all the other defenders. Ed Richards is having the season of his career so far. This is probably another example of poor defense. I know the game's over at this point in the game with only 3 minutes left, but just have a look at the willingness to win the ball here from Riley West compared to the defenders. He wants that ball, he wants to kick a goal, and the defenders are just caught napping. No one can lay a tackle, no one can get near him to smother the ball, and eventually kicks a goal. As the Cats rebound the ball into their forward half, Dangerfield receives the ball on the wing, and it looks like he chips the ball from 50 metres out to try and get to Henry, and he's just put a little bit too much on the ball, and eventually this just goes through for a goal. I 100% don't think he was going for goal. I reckon this was a pass. I thought Durham was a little bit rough for this holding the ball call here. You can see the umpire's on the other side, so he's being blindsided. He probably thought Durham did drag the ball in. It's actually being tapped or kicked into his body, and Noble helps him keep it in there. The umpire's blindsided and pays a holding the ball for a kick, and he can see Durham does not agree. In the end, I think the umpire just blew the whistle a little bit late, but you can see that Tuke Miller tries to evade the first defender, and then Zach Merritt comes over the back and tackles him. The tackle does slip loose a little bit early, but Tuke Miller's had plenty of time to dispose of the ball. He doesn't, gets tackled, and then he gets tackled a second time after he pops up, and then the umpire pays a free kick holding the ball, but somehow gives the ball back to Zach Merritt. So I think he's paid holding the ball on the first one. The call was just extremely delayed. You can hear the commentator say, you can see that Nankervis didn't want to take the kick, and then you can see why. He's just kicked this straight too close. If he's not sure, he should just bomb this 50 metres as long as he can. Somehow he's just turned this ball over in the worst spot possible. After a 50 metre penalty is paid to Voss from Fremantle, it puts him probably about 45 metres out, so he'll have to kick just over 50, and he watches what the umpire's saying, and he says here's the mark, but there's no one standing the mark, so he plays on, gains the extra few metres, and goes through and kicks a very nice goal, and he's also very excited to kick this goal. Have a look at the angle that Willie Rioli's on here. He's facing probably 45 degrees the wrong way, and he's kicked it 90 degrees off the side of his boot to go through for a goal. I don't think the commentators really picked up on this and explained how hard of a kick this is, to kick this basically at a 90-degree angle, to kick it with enough power to go through for a goal. This was a very nice goal. What do you think? Could you kick a goal like this? I probably might. Probably not. To be totally honest, no, I'm not kicking that. After Jeremy Cameron takes a very nice mark and then gets a little cheeky one from Dan Curvis, he goes back and lines up for goal, and this has come off almost the right side of the boot, well, the left side of the boot actually, the wrong side of the boot, and he's actually very lucky that he even scored with this one. He's such a sharpshooter, he ended up kicking his 700th goal for his career, and this one here was an absolute stinker. I like Sanders' little sidestep here, and then he's going to kick it inside the forward 50, and he's just completely shanked this one. After Brodie Grundy kicks the ball inside the Swans forward 50 to absolutely no one, Banfield gets the ball, and as he's being tackled, he just completely one-hand passes this. He throws this, and the umpire hasn't paid a free kick. This is an easy free kick call. I thought the umpires in the Brisbane and Port Adelaide game were pretty average as well. In my opinion, Jack Lukosius should have probably been paid a free kick here, as he's somewhat disrupted in the marking contest or tackled without the ball. And then eventually Lachie Neale picks the ball up and he's tackled and doesn't dispose of the ball legally. That should have been a holding the ball free kick for me. This one happened so fast, I'm actually very surprised the umpire has picked this one up. As you can see, Pink lands down on the ball and he does tap it over. In the slow-mo replay you can kind of see it, and for the umpire to determine whether this was him just falling down and hitting the ball or whether it was intentional, well done to the umpire for picking that up, but I think this one is the right call for me. And this is the last clip here. Unsure how Marcus Bontempelli, the golden child of the AFL, didn't get given a free kick here for holding the ball. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. The secret word this week, to leave it in the comments, don't let them know unless it's been right to the end of the video, is quick. The word quick, put it in however you want in a sentence, but don't make it too obvious. And of course, if you made it all the way to the end, please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you very much. See you next time.